And I'm on to part 2 of building the sheath. When you saw the sheath last time, it was sort of quite flat and I hadn't formed it. Well, what I've done since then, I've actually wet formed it. I didn't show that. Basically I've just got the knife, here's a knife, and I wrapped it up, put it in the sheath. And I got a damp cloth, if you can imagine. Just damped it all down and just gently formed the sheath around the knife. So it gives the sheath sort of a three-dimensional appearance now. So I'm just going to apply the finish. The first thing I do, because the dye dries out the leather, and my mate John said get some neat's foot oil, so got some neat's foot oil. I'm just going to apply this to the sheath. This kind of feeds the leather, helps it to become a little bit supple.
They're giving you examples of ambiguities in sentences, right? But it's quite a funny one. The font so generously presented by Mrs. Smith will be set in position at the east end of the church. Babies may now be baptised at both ends.
Very good. Right, now I've applied the neat's foot oil. It kind of darkens the leather a little bit. They do say that, they do warn you these applications can darken the leather, and that kind of feeds the leather, makes it a bit supple. And then I apply another conditioner called Aussie Leather Conditioner. There are various different applications you can use, and basically what this does is this waterproofs it. And then I might apply a little bit of heat to help it get absorbed into the leather. Then it takes a while then for it to dry, so I might leave it in a warm place to dry for a few hours, and then apply some carnauba cream polish. Well, that's the sheath sort of finished. It's a bit tacky still from the application of the waterproofer, and when that dries I'll put some carnauba cream polish on it and buff it up to give it a bit of a shine, and it should end up looking something like that. Knife's in there, look. I bet Mary can't wait to see it, but I'll have to wait a bit longer yet, Mary. I'm going to make the dangler for it now, and then I'll hopefully show the finished product in a minute. My danglers just start off with a strip of leather, which I've used a belt cutter to cut from a larger hide. And it's just a matter of putting the curved edge on one side, so once I'm happy with the length of the dangler, I mark where the fold section is going to be. A couple of little marks like that. And then that'll be the flap which opens up, and the D-ring will dangle down through there. So I'm going to take out a few little pieces of leather here to allow for the D-ring to sit better.
Do you want to put these beers and yours in the fridge, Dad?
Yeah, put them in the fridge. Next is to edge bevel. Okay, now I've edge beveled. I didn't edge bevel that bit there, I left that bit there because that will help it sit down a bit better. Now just to die the actual dangler up, and as I usually do, I always pre-dampen the leather. It helps the dye take a bit easier. Again, as per the sheath, dampen the edges down. And then the soap or the gum tragacanth. What a word that is, gum tragacanth. Hey Chris.
Yeah.
What do you reckon gum tragacanth is?
Say that again.
What do you think of the word gum tragacanth?
Gum tragacanth.
Yeah.
I haven't got a clue. I know what gum is. Gum's a kind of gluey stuff, isn't it?
Yeah.
Traga. I haven't got a clue. Camp. Isn't camp a kind of... It's a substance, isn't it? Camp. Like camphor or something like that.
So a gummy substance.
Yeah, that's got a kind of campy smell to it, whatever camp is. I don't know, what is it?
Gum tragacanth. It's a plant extract which comes from Middle East or Asia, and it's used to rub onto leather to help burnish edges, I think. Gum tragacanth. Funny name, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Next thing I do is I form this round where I want the bends to be. And then persuade it. So that's the shape of the dangler now. Now it's time to put the holes in for where the pot rivets and the retaining rivets going to go. Press studs rather than rivet. Now here's a little hole punch of the correct diameter. Glass is falling off my head. And I'll use those two holes to mark through where the back holes are going to be, so they'll line up. And then finally change the hole punch diameter to the smaller punch for the rivet, which will go in a little bit there. Whilst it's still damp, I'll use my little embellishing tool to add a couple of little embellishing marks just to make it look nice. Now I'll go and stamp the logo on the back. Allowed the leather to dry, and then I've applied some finish to the inside, because this is all going to fold over and you won't be able to do it otherwise. I've laid out the hardware now for the dangler, the press studs and the rivet, and I'll use this machine to apply the press studs. It makes it you get a much more accurate alignment. I've always had problems when I've used the little hammer and anvil technique. Got various different die parts to go into the machine. So then it's just a matter of assembling the press studs.
Yeah. What are we having for dinner today?
A bit of even pressure.
What are we having today?
Change the die heads for the other side of the press studs. And then what I do now, I do go to my workshop to the anvil, and I've got a special small anvil. I just tap them in a bit more to make them a bit more firmer and secure. And then I rivet the belt loop across. Lastly, change these out for one last time to another set now, to allow the machine to put the rivet in. So that just goes in through that hole. Through there like that. Rivet head goes on. Locate it on the pin and press it home. And that's it. Well, okay, it's all finished now. Knife's finished, sheath finished, dangler's finished, left-handed. This is the first convex knife I've built. Well, I've built one other which I haven't put handles on. That was a sort of a prototype, and this is the sort of that style of knife built up and completed. It's desert ironwood. It's a lovely piece of exhibition grade desert ironwood. Beautiful. I've given it more belly, so make it sort of more of a hunter style knife. So with that belly, you can do a lot more sort of skinning, but it should be up to a lot of heavy use as well, because being a convex grind, they're quite robust. It's lethally sharp. There you go, Mary. I wonder what you think. I wonder if Stephen would be happy with that. So, running through the knife from the back end, you've got the slight apex on the pommel, taper tang, convex blade, very lean convex, shaped to allow hunting style knife, I suppose. Mosaic pins, sharpening notch. So it's the first my first journey into convex, so I'll probably do a few of them. It's nice to be to become proficient in all the knife grinds eventually. That's my aim anyway. So I'm going to call this knife, this is the first one going out, this is going to Stephen. I'm going to call it the Jack Law Hunter, I think. The Hunter. I want to build a camp knife as well, which would be along similar lines to this, but I might just bring the blade down about 5mm deeper and slightly longer. I've got the plans in my head for that. So that's it, Mary. Hope you've enjoyed the video. Hope you enjoyed the Mad Terrier. They do like to play with their little squeaker. Thanks for watching, everybody, and see you in the next one.